What's up, everyone? It's Vloggin Kelsey here, and this is... Really?
This is Vloggin Cece. Where did you go?
I'm gone. This is Vloggin Cece.
Hi.
We got a video for you today.
Yes. What are we talking about today?
School.
School. So as you guys probably know, we're both graduating this year. We're going to talk about all the stories that we've kind of gathered from preschool or whatever we end up remembering from till senior year. And then maybe just give you some tips on how to survive school. Because it's been wild. Alright, so we're going to start with the earliest we remember. We were just talking about this earlier.
Daycare.
Daycare.
I don't think that counts. It's not school.
She remembers daycare. I barely remember like, first grade. Alex. You want to go close the door? And lock it? Just turn the little thingy on it. There you go. We're good. Oh my gosh, that was disgusting. You know, it's like 5th grade. You don't really have crushes. Guys don't have crushes on girls in 5th grade.
You're funny.
What? Not in my school anyway.
I remember dating somebody in 5th grade.
What?
Yeah.
Who'd you date?
Man, in 5th grade, woo! I remember there was this girl and she was a little crazy, a little bonkers. I don't know her name.
Oh, I got a story about a girl who's crazy.
And we're gonna call her, I don't even know, since you said Hannah Montana, I'm gonna call her Hannah. So, Hannah and I had this thing where we were like, oh, we're gonna be, like wedding planners, and we like were planning weddings.
Oh my gosh.
And we had these like little business cards and we'd hand them out to people and we were like, we're gonna plan your wedding. And we had this box of tissues, and it was like an old box that we like decorated, and we called it, like, I don't even know what we called it something. And I was like in love with this tissue box. And I know, like it's weird. Okay, so I was in love with the tissue box, right? So I like took it everywhere with me. It like sat on my desk at school all the time, and she like threatened to stab it with like her scissors. So she used to carry these scissors around in her boots, and she would like threaten me like to stab the box with the scissors, and she did rip it apart, I'm pretty sure at one point. But like we went to recess one day, she literally pulled scissors out of her boots. Like she just whipped them out.
What? How did she not get in trouble for that?
Dead serious, she like whipped them out of her boots. Let me just go ahead and
snip, just kill the tissue boxes. I don't even know what to say. That's terrifying.
I know.
Like I'm just this little girl who's just gonna get these scissors out and kill your precious tissue box. That's awful.
Now you know how traumatizing 5th grade was for me.
My crazy girl story, I don't know if this was this is really mean too, actually. I remember this. We were really mean at my school. Like in elementary, we were mean. So there was this new transfer girl or whatever from another school, and she legit believed she was a cat. Like an actual, like she would sit behind, I'm just gonna call her like Brittany. Okay. Brittany like literally believed that she was a cat. Like she would sit behind, like we had like these big like blue recycling bins or whatever. She would sit behind these recycling bins and like lick herself. Like she'd go like this and like rub her face.
What?
She would hiss at people.
What?
Everybody was confused. Like she 100% believed she was a cat.
I just want to know, is that how furries start out? Licking themselves behind the recycling bins.
Oh my gosh, just imagine freaking, spoiler alert, the person who was elementary and like younger times, but
Middle school.
middle school. Middle school is when we met.
Yeah.
That was
Choir.
what was it, choir or was it gym?
It was 7th grade.
It was choir.
Yeah.
Choir.
Yeah, I met her and I was like, I gotta bring her into our friend group. Middle school was it was rough altogether. I'm not even gonna lie.
It was.
It was like the most traumatizing years for me. Aside from that daycare story I was telling you about earlier, where the girl told me I was gonna get pregnant someday and something was gonna grow inside my stomach, and I had no idea what she was talking about.
So we were having a talk, and it was like a sexual talk, because like, you know, we were like middle schoolers, you know,
Sex
hormones, basically. And it was like in front of all, like the entire middle school, like everyone whose parents like had signed the paper was allowed to go. All of a sudden, this girl, we're talking about flavored condoms, she just burst out, "Taste the rainbow!" The entire gym lost it. That was like the biggest talk, like
funny.
that was the biggest thing I think in like that grade, that year. It was so flipping funny. No.
So there was this fight in 7th grade, and these two girls ganged up on this other girl, and they like went after her with a lunch tray, just beat her over the head with it. Food went everywhere.
Serious? How did I miss that?
That was hilarious.
How did I miss that?
I was sitting over there, I was like, fight, fight, fight. I was so hyped up. Well, I know in 3rd grade, this kid, I was like on the bus, and this kid like turned around over the seat, and all I did was say hi to him. He was like, hi. And then he was like, if you don't bring me money tomorrow, it was like a quarter or something. He's like, if you don't bring me a quarter tomorrow, then I'm going to stab you. And I was like, excuse me?
Well then.
I was terrified, so I went home crying, and I tried to tell the bus driver, and he wouldn't listen, and Warden was just like, what do you mean I can't threaten to stab you with a knife? And I was like, he threatened to stab me! And so she
What
called,
the heck?
She
Why are your classmates so violent?
I don't know! So she called the bus garage, and then she called the school, and then the school took care of it the next day, and he wrote me this apology letter. And then in 6th grade, he tried to get with me.
Well, that just took a turn.
I know!
What in the world?
All my
That's
memories
scary.
are like really violent, and you're
That
just over
is
here
violent.
like, so there's this girl sitting behind a recycling bin, licking herself like a cat.
So, back in sophomore year, 10th grade.
Here we go.
Where do I start with this? So every year my volleyball team goes to a big volleyball tournament in Tennessee, in Dayton to be exact, at Fort Bluff. So shout out to all my NACA volleyball tournament people out there, soccer and volleyball, you know. So we would stay in these like college dorms, and it was like really cool. So like it'll be 2 people per like room or whatever. So that year actually, my team got in this really big car accident. Of course we couldn't play that year, but we decided to still go to Tennessee and cheer on for the soccer guys that were playing. So like the first night, like this was like about maybe like a little less than like 5 days, maybe it was from a Tuesday to a Sunday. So we spent like the first night like in the hospital, and then we were like, okay, like the rest of us are gonna go cheer on the guys and stuff like that.
Right.
And the rest of them went home. So we're cheering on the guys and stuff, and me and this other girl was like, oh, like, you know, we were like kind of like talking, like messing around with the soccer guys, you know, 'cause we knew a lot of them like really personally.
Yeah.
And so one night we were like, hey, like, do you guys want to go sneak out? But it was like the second to last night. And so we texted them, and I was like, and we were like, hey, like, let's go hang out or whatever. Because there was like this like other building right next to like where our dorms were.
Mm-hmm.
So like the girls and the guys didn't share dorms, of course. There were like 2 separate dorms, but the buildings were right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we did agree to meet up at this dorm or whatever. So they were able to sneak out. We were able to sneak out really, really easily, actually. And we went to this like one building that had like a little like fitness room and stuff. So that's where we mainly chilled. So it was me,
Yeah.
this other girl, or whatever I'm gonna call her, me, Miranda, Matt, Kelsey, Connor. Oh my gosh, because I just don't feel like editing all that out later. So me and Miranda were like texting the guys like, hey, like let's go hang out. So we did. So Matt, Kevin, and Connor come over. And so Matt's like this super big tall guy, like he's absolutely like super duper tall. And then there was Kevin, he was a transfer student from Mexico. And then there was Connor, who actually I ended up dating like later on. So at this point I was actually with somebody. We're gonna call him Joel. Anyway, so it's me, Miranda, Matt, Kevin, Mark, right? Mark, Kevin, Mark, Connor. Kevin, Mark, and Connor.
Okay.
And what happened was that, so we were all like kind of flirting. And so we were like kind of flirting like back and forth or whatever. And so by the end of it, so we're all like chilling, and then we actually ended up getting, it was like 2 in the morning at this point, and we ended up getting caught by like it wasn't police, but like it was
like security?
Yeah, like it was like campus security. They're like, hey, like we're about to close this up, like you gotta go. And we're like, okay, whatever, because we did have like a curfew technically, but like, so we go sneak out, we're talking outside for a little bit, and then the guy from Mexico, Kevin, I feel like I've gone through all the names for this one guy. So then Kevin, you know, he's like, oh, like I'm gonna go to bed, and he had a soda. And I was like, wait, before you go, I want a sip of your soda. And he's like, no, you're not gonna get my soda. And I was like, no, I want a sip of your soda. And so I followed him down to like the other side of the building where the door was. And like, we were like fighting over the soda. And then like, he kind of like, and we somehow ended up, his arms were around me or whatever. And then we like pulled away. And I was like, okay, good night. And he was like, good night. Gave another hug. And then like we looked at each other. We started making out. No regrets. It was pretty good. It was pretty nice. To be completely honest, it was pretty good. Like he had a little booty grabbing. It was pretty good actually. Shout out to Kevin. Anyway, and so then the trip ends. We come back. So I ended up actually getting really close to Connor, not the super tall guy, but the other guy. You know. So I ended up getting really close to Connor or whatever. And so like we're just like talking as friends or whatever. And Joel was like, oh, like, you know, I think you cheated on me with Connor during this whole trip or whatever, and got like really mad or whatever. Although I broke up with him because one night he was asking me for homework that took me 2 hours to do. And so I was like, no, like I'm not giving it to you. And he got like really mad at me, and I was like, I'm not putting up with this. So I like ended it with him, but he didn't know that I ended it with him that night. So the next day at school, he came up to me, he's like, oh, like where's my hug? And I'm like, I broke up with you. Like, I didn't say that like in front of everybody, so I wrote another note.
Oh my gosh.
I wrote a note. Notes are my thing apparently. I wrote a note and I was like, I broke up with you yesterday. And so he reads the note. He just got up, started crying, and walked out of class. I was like, I felt so bad, and I felt like really, really bad, you know. But like, it happened. So then I text Connor, and I was like, so I'm single now. I kid you not, like the week of, I was like, so I'm single. I mean, me and Joel were together for maybe like a month. So like it wasn't like anything like huge or anything.
Yeah.
In my opinion at least. You know, and so I was like, hey, like I'm single now. But he liked this, Connor really like this super duper pretty girl, and I was like nowhere near compared to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I probably don't have a shot or whatever. But then he was like, oh, like let's test it, let's see like how it goes. So we like kept it from our friends for like about a week or so, and then eventually our friends started catching on, and we're like, so we're dating. And then so Joel thought that I cheated on him with Connor.
Oh, but you cheated on him with Kevin.
Yeah, which he still has absolutely no clue about. Like I said, I feel bad about it now. Like, so anyway, yeah, so he thought I cheated on him with Connor, but of course that wasn't the case, like I said. And he still doesn't know about that now. Tips, yeah. Alright, we'll start with like what, not grade, but like each like kind of like little sections. So, elementary, well no, I guess nobody's gonna be watching this.
No,
Middle school.
Middle school.
Don't cheat.
Be yourself.
Yeah, definitely be yourself. You know, don't be afraid to be yourself.
Learn
you know?
who your friend groups are.
Yes, and don't completely trust somebody.
Don't break up with someone over a note.
Why you gotta call me out? Yeah, no, don't do that. Just kind of,
It's a bad idea.
Don't break up with somebody because another friend of yours wants to be popular.
Yeah.
If you're a girl, don't be too dependent on a guy. Like,
yeah,
that's
seriously.
I think one of the biggest things is that like girls like want to depend on having somebody else, and guys have this problem too.
If you are the one behind the recycling bin licking yourself like a cat, be yourself. Love yourself.
Don't cheat. It's not good.
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat on
Honestly, just don't even get into a relationship. If you're not ready to like not love yourself. Like, if you don't love yourself first, do not get into a
True,
relationship.
like, if you're not happy with yourself, don't expect yourself to give happiness to another person.
And
You do what you think is best for you.
Right. And, like, just know that it's, like, okay to not have, like, a path in life. Just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, and I'm a big go with the flow person. I mean, like,
Yeah,
like,
me
there's
too.
some things I gotta plan out and stuff, but, like, why bother stressing about, like, all these little things that aren't even coming yet?
Even for us now, like, all those kids that are saying, like, oh, I want to get out of school, like y'all are lucky because at least you'll have a last day. Like, for
Yeah,
us,
we didn't get a last day.
We walked out not knowing that was gonna be our last day.
Yeah,
Thank you,
much.
Coronas. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we never got our prom. We never,
There was no prom, and
we won't get a graduation until midsummer, mid to late summer, and, we are the one generation that is really affected by, like our high school life, and it's really, it's a big impact and stuff.
Yeah.
So just don't take what you have for granted. Like, you guys may be happy, like, oh, yay, like, out of school, but, like,
And
don't take that for granted.
And don't be rude to seniors right now, because we're going through a really rough time.
Yeah.
I've come across a few people that have been, like, really just insensitive about it.
Really?
Yes, they've been super insensitive.
Like, they just gotta, like, you guys just gotta realize, like, it's a really big deal not be able to, like, this is what everyone told us would be, like, our best year.
Yeah, and it was going so well.
It was going really well.
So well until this.
Until all of this happened. Like, I don't think, honestly, like, I don't know, like, a lot of the things, like, it just wouldn't, like, I've missed out on so much stuff because of all this,
Yeah, we had, like, 4 months left.
Yeah.
And that, like, those last 4 months of your high school year are, like, the most
best.
important.
What a experience this
This is
has been.
great.
I gotta say, thank you for collabing with me today.
Thank you for collabing with me.
This has been quite a time.
This has been over an hour.
Yes, this has been officially an hour and 5 minutes, and for you guys, it's probably gonna be like a solid 20 minutes. Well, I think that's it.
I think so.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and probably here soon we'll probably do another collab, because
I love y'all so much.
we love you guys, and we just want what's best for you guys.
Yes.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
We're done.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What are you doing with your tongue? It started off, there's a dog. Where? Puppy. Attack the human. Okay, I'm trying to think. We both just clapped at the same time. So, for these tournaments, we would stay in these, like, college dorms. I can't English.
Me either. これは何ですか? Honey.
Oh my gosh.
PHVAC. And then... Oh well. What are you gonna do, you two? Like, does you come at me?
I wrote this whole thing. It was like, I gotta break up with you, I'm sorry. Our hearts just...
Oops, my heart went.
That's gonna become a new TikTok sound.